All right. Does everybody have their favorite beverage? I have my favorite beverage at home, Mr. Beverage, who's got a man cold. And we have the paramedics on speed dial just in case, because he sent me a text and he said, you know, honey, I might actually die from this because I do have a man cold. Laughed my butt off. I was like, well, at least you're acknowledging. So I have my favorite beverage at home and my favorite beverage here. So I have a rum and Coke to keep me company. It's kind of a theme now, right? Had one yesterday and got to have one today. So thank you everybody for joining me for the last one of the day. I really appreciate it. We're going to have a really good time, I'm sure. I have a fun project that I've been holding on to for like 3 years now. I taught this one a few years back and I knew that I needed to wait till a really special event, and that's what this is. So, you know, it's funny. I don't get nervous before I do these things, and I'm really nervous today. I don't know why. It's one of those strange things. So if I'm stumbling over my tongue, that's why. So, all right. So a few things that I want to get out of the way. One is, if you have questions, I probably won't be able to respond during the live. Just the way that my setup is here, it'll make it really, really difficult for me to stop and retain brain cells and keep doing what I'm doing. So if you have questions, fire them in there. And then tonight, after I get home, I will try and go in there. Now, what happened last time was I had so many questions that I think Facebook shuts down after 500 questions or something like that. So if I don't respond, it's because Facebook doesn't allow me to. I'm really good at answering everybody's questions. It's just sometimes they just say, okay, that's enough, because I guess they figure it's spam or something like that. So if you have any questions, just ask away. If somebody within the group knows the answer, fire out the answer for somebody, because often you guys have watched me long enough that you know a little bit about me. So I guess I should introduce myself. I always forget that, but I'm Kelly from Kellie's Bead Boutique, and I own a bead store just outside of Vancouver, British Columbia. It's sunny today. It's actually not raining, which is a miracle because it always rains here. So no snow. I didn't even wear a jacket. So it's a beautiful day here. Okay, so we've got our fun project, and yes, Kate, I do have barrel knots because, you know, I'm the barrel knot queen. I have the crown, so I have to have barrel knots. So we'll be doing some barrel knots and a couple other things today on that. And I also have a coupon, which I will put the coupon underneath the camera later so that you can see what it is. I'll just tell you what it is now, but if just in case you're like, what did she say? So it's GBE, so Great Bead Extravaganza 2021. So all in capital letters, GBE 2021, and it's 20% off your order today. And there are a couple exclusions. We can't do that on tools, our spooled leather, or on our kits, but everything else is 20% off. So we have, you know, lots of fabulous new stock. Now, if you want, you can go over to my website at www.kellysbeadboutique, make sure you spell Kelly with an IE, .com, and go up to the top and it'll say Tucson Reveal. And that's a lot of the new products that I've just recently brought in. So I don't have everything on there. I've got about 6 big boxes full of stuff still to process. So come back over the next couple weeks and keep watching, because there's lots and lots of new stuff on there. And I'm just now got all my strands, my semi-precious in, so those are all going up there now. So that's some of the things that are going on as far as if you're wanting to visit my store. There will be 3 different colorways for this project in the store. And I will show you those all at the end and tell you the color names and everything. I have a lot of kits this time. Last time we sold out very quickly. Thank you guys very, very much. That was so awesome. A little petrifying when we walked in here on Monday morning, but you know, it all worked. There'll be 3 different 3 different colors, and they're all up there now. So if you wanted to have a look, you can. There's one that isn't made because I'm going to make it for you. But anyway, and let's see. I have a really good giveaway today. If I have time, I'm going to show you everything in it at the end, but I want to make sure I leave enough time for the project. But I will show you later what's in this giveaway. It's pretty darn good. And the way that you win is if you place an order this weekend, your name goes into a draw. And so one lucky person that places an order will get this. And I think you're going to probably want it. There's a lot of stuff. And I'll probably add to it because I've been kind of running around the store adding some things. So I will probably add more. And I guess that's about it. So I don't have all these fancy rigs that everybody else has, so I have to do things manually. So I have to take my phone out of the holder without turning you guys off and put you in the other holder. You know, it's a little crazy. So I'm going to jiggle the camera a little bit, but I'm going to do my best not to make you seasick. So if these kind of things bug you, look away for about 10 seconds, okay? So I'm going to turn you around. And then I'm going to move you to my other thing here and hope that nothing bad happens along the way. I've practiced this a million times now. All right, I actually think we're good. All right, I don't think this is centered, but I will fix that in a second here. Oops, sorry for the jiggles, people. Okay. There we go. That actually looks pretty darn good. I was stressing over this whole thing because like I'm used to my whole YouTube setup, which is completely different than a live. So I'm just going to take my mic off, put it there, and now I think we're good. Okay, now we can get started. Oops, I have things dangling. Okay. Sorry, I think we've got a little bit of a shadow there. But I will scoosh my light in a bit more here and try to get rid of that shadow. Well, it didn't really help too much, but anyway, we'll work with it. Okay. Yes, Bonnie, I have my scissors. It's a miracle. Things do happen. Okay, so for today, I'm calling this the Easy Breezy bracelet. So I have one on my wrist here. So it's got leather and my Yuki seed beads and fire polish. Here's one of Candy's bracelets that I've had for a long time. And so for this one, we're going to be using, I cut a meter, but I don't think we need that much. I think we need about 32 inches or so of 1.5 millimeter leather. And we're going to be using some 3-ply Irish wax linen, and I think I have about a meter on here. I always give lots of extra because I think it's nice to work with a little more than a little less. So we also have some 6/0 Mayuki seed beads, and these are the beautiful saffron color that I absolutely love. And then I've got some 4 millimeter fire polish to go with it, and I have 3 different colors to make a little bit of a pattern. I also have some little tiara cast, these little tiny faceted nuggets. I love these. I use them in a lot of my projects. I also have a little charm, 1 jump ring, and of course my favorite button. I use this one in a lot of different projects because it's just so beautiful. And for tools, we're going to be needing a ruler and scissors, and we've got a pair of pliers, and I always like to have a pair of bent chain nose pliers, and I've got a pair of tweezers and some glue. So now you can use any glue, but I just like to use the GS Hypo because it's got the little point on the end. So let me just move some of these things out of the way, and then we can get started. But I need a short slurp first. Whoops, just about lost everything. That would not be good. All right. Get myself situated. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leather and I'm going to find the 2 ends and match them up. And that will just help me so that when I want to find the center, I know where it is. So I'm just going to take my leather and run it through just on one side, and then I'm going to keep those together and then just pull down to the middle. And now that will get me situated right in the middle of the leather. And now we're going to make a barrel knot. So this is a little barrel knot tube that I sell. We do sell them at the store. It's probably the most asked question I ever get. If you want your own, they do come in these kits, but if you wanted to buy your own, you just go to my website, go to the little search bar and just type in barrel knot tube and it'll take you right to the link. That is literally my most asked question. Okay, so we're going to take that and I'm going to place it in between the leather, and I'm going to take this most outer one and I'm going to pull it forward, and I'm going to go around 3 times working towards my left hand. If you're left-handed, just turn it around and change it so that you're working towards your right. Now I'm going to take the end of that and put it through the tube and pull it out the end there. And then now you can't really see because it's underneath my fingers, but I have a nice little knot there. Now I need to scoosh this up a little bit. So I'm going to push that down And I just kind of sort of coax it. I don't give it one big pull because one, you can break your leather if you do that. And two, I want to be able to keep control of this knot. So I just kind of push and pull. Now I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch like that. I don't want to have this too tight because that will, it could cause a little bit of stress on the leather. So we want to have it moving around freely. So that's the look that we're going for. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is we want to put our little charm on. So I'm going to take my jump ring and I'm going to place 1 pair of pliers on one side. And then I like to take my bent chain nose pliers and just turn that around so that I've got the flat part there. So it makes opening these really easy. I'm then going to run that through my charm and then do that back up and just give that a little jiggle. Okay, trying to keep things out of the way to make it easier for you. So now I'm just going to pick one and put that on there. So it doesn't really matter which side it goes on. We just kind of want to get it situated on there. So there we go. We've got our little charm on there. Okay, so I'm just going to move some of these things out of the way now. Okay, so like in Kate's demo, it would be easier if you had this attached to a board. But this one, it was hard for me to attach to a board because it's a lot of off and on. So I can do this without, but if it makes it easier for you, you could attach it. I just found it a whole lot of taking it off and on and turning it and everything. So for demo purposes, I found it a little bit easier just to do it in my hand. So I'm going to take my Irish wax linen and I am going to marry the two ends up so that I can find my midway point. And I'm going to place that underneath now. And don't worry if it goes off a little bit and you end up with 1 inch more or something because I'm giving you lots in your kit. And I see somebody, are there kits? Yes, there are kits. So look for Easy Breezy Bracelet. And I'll make sure to put a link to this after the demo's over. And I will put a supply list if you want to make your own. I'll do all that sort of stuff after the fact. Okay, so now I'm just going to be doing some macrame. So if you've never done that before, we're going to be doing some P's and Q's. So the way that I do it is I take one piece and I put it over top of that leather, and then I'm going to take my tail and go over top of that tail. Now this one here has to go up and through that hole. So I just pull it up like that, and then I'm going to pull it tight. I just want to make sure that I'm sort of pulling it a little bit on the even side so I don't end up with one side being really super short and the other being really long. Again, it doesn't really matter, but I try. So that's half of a square knot. So now the other side, we're going to do a Q. So I'm going to do my around this way, part of my Q, go over top of that little tail there. And now you're going to take this tail and it has to go up and through that hole. And then we're just going to push that up a little bit and tighten it up. Now, a lot of people ask, why do I use the Irish wax linen? I like it because it's got some sticky to it. It makes it so that it grips onto things. So you could use Eslon, I suppose, if you wanted, but it just doesn't have that same grip that the Irish wax linen has. So that's why I use this. Again, a question that I get asked a lot. Okay, so we're going to do a 3 in total. So you're going to do 1 on one side and 1 on the other 3 times. And those are full square knots. And I just kind of want to have them nice and close so you can kind of push them with your fingers. All right. And we're on our last one here. And I'm not pulling super, super tight. I am pulling taut, but I'm not pulling so tight that I end up damaging the leather, because you can actually cut through leather if you pull your threads on top of it too tight. So make sure that you're being mindful of that. Okay, so now this is what we've got. Our button, our barrel knot, our little charm, and now we've got our Irish wax linen secured on there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to place one of our little faceted beads on here. Now, the way that Irish wax linen works, it will sort of flatten out a little bit. So if you want to make it so that it's like a needle in a way, just roll it in your fingers and that will make a little bit of a needle on the end. So I'm going to put this on. Now you're probably wondering, well, why are you putting that there? Well, I found that when I created this, if I didn't put a smaller bead there, these kind of buckled out a little bit. So I want to have a nice sort of seamless flow. So that little tiny hex bead gives it a little bit of a flow there. So now we're just going to start putting on our seed beads. And I know this is going to be like paint drying, but I can throw these on here pretty fast. Now, another question that I get asked a lot is, well, how do you figure out sizing? So sizing is one of those things that I sometimes feel like your first project is going to be a little bit of a throwaway, in a sense that it may not fit. You sometimes have to play with it a little bit to see what works. But what I did figure out was that as far as measurements, if you do about 5.5 inches of beads, that will give you around a 6-inch bracelet. If you do a 6.5 inch bead, or 6.5 inch of bead, I can't talk, 6.5 inches of beads, that will give you about a 7 to a 7.25. So there is a point where we can try this and see how it's going to work. So that's towards the end. So sometimes, you know, it can be a little bit of a crapshoot when you're making these things. The sizing can be a little bit futzy, trying to get it just perfect. So you sort of have to experiment a little bit. So I'm just going to fire these on here as fast as I can. I absolutely love this Mayuki seed bead. It is so pretty. It's got beautiful oranges and browns and sort of golds and that yummy Picasso finish on it that I love so much. So we got lots of people watching today. Is everybody getting geared up to watch the day 2 tomorrow? And then I guess the, what's on? What is that? It's football tomorrow, right? I don't watch any sports. So what is that? In Canada, we call it the Grey Cup. What is it? Super Bowl. Okay, so I want to have about 5.5 to 6 inches of beads. So let's see what I've got here right now. So I've got 4. And we still have lots and lots of time, so I'm good here. Go Chiefs. Okay, who's playing? Somebody, I can actually see a little bit while I'm doing this. So who's playing? I know nothing about it, but I'll pretend that I do. I'll be like, yeah, go Chiefs, wherever they're from. I'm Canadian, so we don't, I shouldn't say we don't watch. A lot of people do. A lot of people have Super Bowl parties, but we're not allowed to right now. We are under some pretty strict orders here, I guess you could call it. Okay, so that's about 5.25. So I'm going to put on a few more. You don't watch sports either, Deb? Yeah, I don't know why. It's just not my thing. My husband couldn't care less. He'll watch videos all day long on dogs. I never have to worry about my husband being with a blonde unless it's a dog. He's so funny. He loves animals. Okay, so that's just about 6. So this will be a little bit bigger one. Okay, so we've got that on one side. And now I always make sure to put my other little hex nut on right away because, you know, if I leave it, I will forget. Chiefs from Kansas and something in Tampa Bay, Florida. Okay, cool. Well, go Players. What do you say for that? I don't even know. I'm so lame. Okay. Oh, Cindy, how exciting. We have a big Labradoodle. She's our crazy dog. Okay, so I am going to first, before I forget, because, you know, I'll get talking and then I'll forget. So I want to put my little hex bead on there. And we're just going to leave this to kind of hang out. Now what I'm going to do is make a pattern out of these. So you will have enough to make a pattern of whatever you want. But the pattern that I'm going to do is this one here. So I'm going to start with our beautiful sort of orangey. It kind of matches that one really nicely. And then I am going to do this other beautiful travertine. And then this pretty blue one. And then I will put another one of these on. Now if it starts to unwind, just kind of run your fingers and make it back into a little point. Okay, so that's what I do. And then I go backwards. So I've got, let me show you here. So I started with, I don't know the colors, so I'll call this like the orange, the light blue, and the dark blue. And then I have the orange one again. And now I'm going to put one of the dark blues on it, and then one of the light blues, and then one of the oranges. And that's my pattern. Okay, so that's sort of what it's going to look like. I tried to do some fun colors this time because you guys are always telling me that I use the same colors, which I absolutely love my ridiculous choices of colors all the time. But I thought, okay, I'm going to do something a little different this time. So that's why I'm working with this orange. And we just got in some fabulous new matte Aura quartz. And it's the Pantone colors of the year, which I don't really like. But I am going to challenge myself to make something with something that I don't like. And that's hard to do. So I'm going to be making something with gray and gold, which is really an unusual combination for me because I tend to really shy away with anything that's, well, yellow, I guess it is, not gold, because I just don't like those colors. Okay, so I just have to, think about what I'm doing here to make sure that my pattern is right here. So the way that I kind of can do it is like that. That's sort of a group of 6. And then, is that my group of 6? Yep. Okay. So now, if you were to mess up and have these in the wrong position, you know what? Nobody's going to notice, like I think I just did. Sometimes I get mixed up on patterns when I do things that are kind of weird like this. Okay, so that one's starting that again. So then I'm going to put on my light one first. Yeah, see, I knew I was going to do it upside down. But nobody ever notices this kind of stuff. If you get them backwards or something, no one is ever going to look at it and go, oh, you should have had the other one there. At least I feel like that. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Julie. I don't like yellow. Some people, like my girlfriend, it's one of her favorite colors. She wears it. She decorates in it. It's literally one of her favorite colors. And I always say the only thing I like about yellow is the smell and the taste, because I love lemon. And that's it. I love the smell of lemon and I love the taste of it. But as far as anything else, I'm not really down with it. So I don't know why. I like a yellow flower. Maybe that's about it. Okay, so now where am I going? I am going, so I've got there. Okay, so back with this one. And at this point, if I make a mistake, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Sometimes by this part of the day, your brain starts to shut off, right? So has everybody enjoyed so far today? I hope you've had lots of fun watching everybody. There's been some really great projects, and everything's been so different, which is great. I love it. I love that everybody's got a different take on things. And gosh, I was saying to my husband, there's so many talented people here. It's funny, so many people are saying, yeah, I don't like yellow either. Okay. See, I keep getting mixed up in this pattern. So you can do whatever pattern you want, but it is a lot easier to do a pattern when you're not trying to do other things like, talk and that sort of stuff. So all right, we're almost. Okay. So you'll get enough, I guess, to make, if you had maybe an 8-inch wrist, there'd probably be plenty. And one thing with these barrel knot kind of bracelets, you can always add knots to make things bigger too. So if you had a really large wrist and there wasn't enough in the kit, which there probably would be, but if there wasn't, you could always just add extra barrel knots to make it a little bit longer. So there's always ways. Wow. Well, that's awesome, Diane. I'm glad that you have watched every one. What are the sizes of what, Ruth? If anybody, in case I missed Ruth's question there, somebody wants to answer away, that would be awesome. The questions start firing by pretty darn fast. You were traumatized by yellow? Oh, thank you, Susan. It's all at the very beginning, Sorry, I forgot what your name was. It's all at the very beginning, but I will put down the sizes later. So I'll make sure to write a list after my demo is over. I just couldn't figure out how to do it beforehand. Some girls, there's guys in here too, have an ability to do all these fancy things, and I just don't know how to do all that stuff. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to have these two pieces exactly the same length. So now I can see that this bead is too much. If I have that on there, it'll make that a little long. So I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to put on my last little hex nut here. I always try to remember to put those on right away because I know that I will forget. I need to have a little sip. Thank you. I think these colors are kind of fun. They're a little unusual. My girls looked at me like I was cuckoo when I was pulling them off the wall. I said, trust me, when you get this all done, it's going to look really cute. Okay, so what you want to do, I just take the two beaded parts and sort of try to have them almost identical like that. And so I just, push them back with my thumb. And I mean, they're not going to be exactly perfect, but that's sort of what we want. Okay, so carefully, what I want to do now, I'll pull this part up so that we can see. I think my staff are just about to leave now. They're just closing up for the day. So thanks, girls. Okay, so now we need to start doing some more square knots. So I'm going to do 3 here. So this first one is a little awkward because, I don't know, it just feels like there's nowhere to do it. But once I get going, it'll make sense. So again, I'm going to place this one over top of my leather, and I'm going to take this tail and go over top of that one there. And then I'm going to take that tail and bring it up. So I'm going to go up through here and pull that together. And what you have to do is sort of pull that tight and then kind of pull these tight at the same time. So it's a little back and forth, but I'll show you in a sec what you can do. So I'm just going to do the other side. So I've got my Q. So go over top, and then we'll have a little more ability to get this tightened up. Okay, so I'm going to tighten it up at the top there, and then tighten this part up. So now you can see that this is kind of buckling in here. So what I want to do is just give that a little pull, and now you can see that if I pull this all together, that's exactly what we want. It's never going to be completely taut because these aren't identical kind of beads. So now that that is fixed on there, I'm going to tighten that up, pull down my leather, make sure that's exactly what I want, and then I'm going to make 2 more. So I'm going to make my P, pull that over the tail, and bring that up through the hole, and pull this nice and tight. And we're doing pretty good for time. I'm going to be done really early, I think. Well, we'll just have to sit and chat. Okay, and then 1 more. So make our P. Always bring that tail over top. Often when I'm teaching classes and people are having a struggle with macrame, it's because they haven't remembered to pull this one over, because this is the one that has to go underneath everything and be pulled up inside. So we're going to do 3 of those in total. So now if you're looking at it and going, oh gosh, how many did I just do? I have no idea. The way that you know is you'll see the little bump there. I'm hoping I can get it close enough to the camera that you can see. When you have a bump there, that means that's where you're going to start your next one. So I know that I have to do at least 1 more because I need to start one on this side. So I'm going to do my Q, go over top and up through that hole. So that should give me 3 in total now. There we go. There's our 3. So that's kind of the look that we want. Wow, there's some guys dragging up and down the street here, and it's very loud, so I apologize if you guys can hear that. So there we go. That's what we've got happening so far. Okay, so now you want to make sure that you do not cut this. That's really, really important. Don't be in a big rush to cut these off because you need them to embellish in a little bit, okay? So we're just going to kind of pull these over top of the leather. And now we're going to do a barrel knot, some barrel knots again. So I'm just going to sort of pull those down in the middle there, or whatever. You can kind of pull them off to the side. And now we're going to do another barrel knot. So I'm going to take my barrel knot tube and I'm going to place it in between my leather. Working with the most outer one, I'm going to bring that towards me and around. And then you can see I change hands to hold on to it. So I'm going to grab hold of that with my right hand. Or do I? No, I don't. What am I doing? I knew that was going to happen at some point. I'm like, what's going on here? Who's on first? All right, so now I'm going to take that one and I'm going to go through the end. I swear, sometimes. Okay, so now I've got my little knot here, my barrel knot. I'm going to run that up and I want to seat it right on top of that last little bit of the macrame there. Gosh, I'm trying to get my brain screwed in right now. That's what happens. Okay, so now this is what we've got happening. We've got our barrel knot and it's just right on top there. Hopefully you can see where I've got that. So now you have to sort of decide where you want to have your little embellishments. Do you want them in the middle? Do you want them off to the side? Do you want one on each side? And you know, it doesn't really matter, whatever works for you. So now with your leftover beads, what you're going to do is you're going to place, you know, a little bit of decoration on. So I am going to put one of my little hex nuts, because you'll get 6 of those in your piece. And maybe I'll use a light blue and then a dark blue, because I've got lots of the orange up top. And I'm just going to pull that up. Now, again, this is your piece, so you can do whatever you like with it. You know, if you want to change it, it's completely up to you. Now I'm going to do an overhand knot and pull that through. Now I want to try to make a nice neat knot, so I find it easiest to do with a pair of tweezers. We do sell these on our website. They're only $3.99 and I find them invaluable when you're doing any kind of knotting. So what I'm going to do is take those and put them through that hole there that I've got, like I've got a knot, so I'm going to put it through, and then I want to grab hold of the thread coming out of the beads, and that's where the knot's going to go, right where I put that. So when you pull down, that knot just pops right on there. And now I like to take my tweezers and just pull down on top of that knot. So there you go. So I'm going to repeat on the other side. Now if you want, you can put a double knot. So all you would do is go over top of that same knot that you just put on there. So you just put the tweezers right on top of the knot and pull your second knot right over top of it. So I just find it a little bit easier to navigate these knots with a pair of tweezers. So I'm going to take my tweezers, go through that, grab hold of the thread that's coming out of the beads, drop that off, and then pull that up. Now I'm going to pull it out and run it down, and then that just kind of locks that in there. And now I'm going to trim this off, and I'm going to trim it off about, you can go about 1/4 inch, whatever you want to do. And I'll show you a little trick, something to make it look a little more sort of boho, I suppose. If you want, you can take these ends and unravel them. You can leave them whole, but you can also take your tweezers and sort of comb through them. So I sort of unraveled it, and then you just kind of comb through. And these are 3-ply, so you'll have 3 individual pieces like that. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And again, you don't have to do this. I just kind of wanted that little extra, sort of a fringy look. All right, so now we have to measure for our button. I'm just going to move all this stuff out of the way here. So what we want to do is take our button, and we're going to place it in between here. And so I know that my buttonhole needs to be about that big. So what I do is I take my thumb and place it right about where I want to place the barrel knot. So I'm going to take my tube and place it in between. And with the most outer one again, I'm going to go around 3 times. And then I'm going to go through the back end and pull that little tube out. And then what I do is I take my thumb and place it right where I want that knot. And I know that the knot has to be over about here. So that's what I'm going to do, is just kind of run that down. Now I'm being very careful because I noticed that that leather had a little, maybe it's right there. Oh, I think I got lucky. Sometimes leather will come with a little nick in it, and I can see that there's a little nick right there. So I'm trying to be very careful about that. and not break it. So that's the perfect size. Okay, so now to finish the end off, what I'm going to do is just do little barrel knots. So I'm going to just take one strand and go around once, twice, take the end of that and go through. And you can just trim these off if you want. You don't have to do these little barrel knots. I just wanted to add a little bit more embellishment there. And I'm hoping this one doesn't break when I do this, because it most definitely has a little nick in it. You know, these the leather just comes on these gigantic spools from the factories, and you know, there's the odd imperfection. And if you ever get a kit or buy something from us and it has something like that in it, just let us know, and we always take care of you. Okay, so that's what we've got happening now, and I'm just going to trim those off. And now you want to take a little bit of glue, and I like to use GS Hypo. You could use E6000. Now this one's got a whole pile of goop on the end, so I'm just going to pretend, or is it going to come out? Yeah, sorry, I should have taken care of that before. So where I'm going to place it is right here, right there, and I'm going to put a good healthy blob on there, and then I'm going to let that dry. That is the point that takes all the punishment, and there's no way I'm going to get this back in on camera, so I'm going to just put it off to the side and do that later, because that's the hardest part of GS Hypo, is the whole getting that back in there. But you want to place it right there, because that's the part that takes the most punishment when you are doing this up and taking it off all the time. So I'm going to let that one dry, but that's sort of what it'll look like. Let me get rid of that. So yeah, I'm really digging these colors. So this is the way that it sits on your wrist. It's got the leather in between, but those ones are kind of fun. So I just don't want to have that wet on there. And the other one that I've got this red one. It's red and hematite and gray. So this one I've called, I think this one is like saffron on the website, and I'll take a quick picture after the demo is over and pop the picture up on the website. But if you're wanting one, this one is under the Easy Breezy bracelet kit. So this is the saffron, and this one is the red Picasso. So this one will have silver buttons, and this one will have silver buttons and charms. And then this one is the olivine, and of course this is my favorite, because you know, this is my jam, the colors on this one. So this one's got the antique gray and the antique bronze, and then this beautiful olivine Picasso Mayuki there. And then it's got sort of a turquoise and a bronze and sort of a silver luster there. So I love that one. So I think I have the most of this one. I have not limited quantities, but there are sort of limited on this one. And I think I have a fair amount of that one. So that is the project today. Did you guys like this one? That gives me a chance to have a little slurp there. And while I'm still thinking about it, I'm just going to move this out of the way. Here is the coupon code for today. Yeah, it's hard when I'm making up these kits to come up with all the colors. I have to make sure that I've got enough stock, and right now stock is really, really limited in so many ways, especially with the check glass. I cannot get a lot of these things in. Super frustrating. So I have to make sure that I use all the colors that I can get. So I would love to have, you know, multiple different ways to make these, but I kind of had to narrow it down to 3. So I'm probably going to put together a couple other ones, because I know that these will probably sell out, because they always do. But anyway, so here's the coupon code. So it says here, it's not valid on spools of leather, tools, or kits, but on anything else on the website, you just type in GBE 2021 and you can get your 20% off coupon. And I will leave this coupon on, today is Saturday. I'll leave it on till Friday of next week. So that'll give you a whole week. You don't have to rush to do your shopping right away if you're going to, you know, come. And I really do appreciate all of the love you guys give us. Without the online sales, my store would have closed this year during COVID. It has been very, very tough. So the support that the online community has shown me and my store has literally kept the store in business. It's been very, very hard. I'm not sure what's going on in Vancouver here, but people are not coming out to shop. So I am dependent on the online orders and so grateful for every single one that comes through. So we work really hard at getting them out the door right away, and we try to do our best for you guys. So we appreciate that very much. Okay, so let's move this stuff out of the way. I think I can close this one up now. Just going to see what you guys are saying. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so now here's another fun part. How about a giveaway? So I have a little thing here full of stuff. I'm just going to move some of these beads off the side. Oh, that makes a nice noise probably on camera. Okay, so this is going to be chock-a-block full. I'm going to put more stuff in it, I'm sure. But for now, this is what I have. So we have a little leather bag from Leather Cord USA that has, like it's a nice little, wristlet kind of thing. It's got this beautiful little fringy tassel on there. And inside, it's kind of cool. This would be good for, all sorts of things. It's got these little things that you could, I don't know, I guess you could put tools in or lipstick or whatever you wanted. But I'll show you some of the fun stuff that I've got in here. Now, how do you win this? I guess you're probably wondering. Well, the way that you could win this is by placing an order. If you place an order within the next week, your name will, oops, I'm sorry about that noise. Your name will go in a draw. We're going to just do a random draw and somebody will win this. And so I will do the draw next Saturday because that will give everybody an opportunity until Friday with the coupon. So let's see what we've got in here. Lots of good stuff. So I have a nice big strip of leather from Sizzix. It's a 3x9, so you can cut this up and do all kinds of fun stuff. I know that Candy uses this kind of stuff often, so I'm sure she had some really fun projects using that you can utilize that for. And then we have a strand of Indian glass, these long sort of barrels. I know that there's a name for these, but I don't remember what it is, but they're just pretty. I have a couple samples of leather from Leather Cord USA. I've got some 0.5 and 1 millimeter. So those couple things there. There's like one meter and I think this was a 2 meter piece. So there's a couple little pieces of leather. And then I have these absolutely gorgeous pearls. I love pearls. Look at that. Are those not the prettiest things you've ever seen? That color just speaks to me. So you'll get those. I found those I have a stash. And I found those in the stash. Okay, what else have I got here? I've got a couple strands of a bead very similar to what we use today. These are some sort of a Persian turquoise, but they're not. They're a different kind. They just got mixed in with something. So, but they're beautiful. Love, love, love those ones. So you'll get a couple strands of those. And I haven't added up the value of this, but this is probably I would think this is going to be hitting over $100 by the time we're done. Oh, it's got to be, yeah. I also have a red jasper strand. So if you like semi-precious, this is a really good gift bag to possibly win because I have lots of semi-precious. So that's a beautiful red jasper. I think one of my favorite things is giving stuff away. I really do. I love to give things away because I know how fun it is to win something. So to be able to give something away is fabulous. Okay, so this is a green jasper. Sometimes when stuff comes from China, they just don't tell me what it is. It's like the mystery stuff. So they just called it green jasper. But this is really pretty. It's got greens and browns and all kinds of pretty stuff. Maybe a little bit of gray in there. So that one's very nice. So there's still a lot more in here. Lots and lots of stuff. Kind of like those bags that Candy had. I have this one kind of stuffed. Now we got all this brand new Aura quartz in, and this is one of the new colors. Isn't this fun? This is green and sort of a raspberry kind of color, and it's matte. I just think that is really, really cool. So we got a whole pile of that. Now I will be getting that on the website. It'll probably go up, I would think, Tuesday. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different colors sitting back here that I have to get on the website. So What else do I have in here? Oh, look at, I've got more. I have some cherry blossom jasper, or is that agate? Jasper, I think, yeah. So that one is beautiful. Got one of those. That's a 6mm. Oh, look at that. I really liked that one so much that I'm giving you 2 of them. Love the cherry blossom jasper. Oh, and we have some more Aura quartz. And look at that one. This one is just so fun. It's like bubble gum. It's like something that, you know, if you like pink and raspberry and all these beautiful shimmery colors, this would be your favorite then probably. I just love that. So this one's an 8mm. And you'll get one of that. So I bet you we're hitting the $200 mark on this one already. Because, yeah. And I've got a little bag here of some check glass. These are some 8mm check glass. And then I've got an assortment of check glass. So lots of just little bits and pieces. And these are really good for those kind of, you know, those, I don't know, sort of boho necklaces where you're just adding little bits of this and that. So some of them have pairs, but that's a little bag of check glass. I love check glass. And there's another bag of check glass. And there's some fun shapes in here too. I really like this one. I think that one's kind of cool. I can see a really fun pair of earrings. And there's some of these lovely leaves that I love so much. So there's another bag of check glass. And last but not least, I have this bag of check glass. They were sort of like ends, but I thought, you know what, you guys could probably do something fun with this. So this is check glass chain. So it comes all pre-done like that, but I thought this would be really cute. Like you could make that into a bracelet, or you could just use it in a necklace, like maybe you know, add something on the ends and then dangle something from it, or just use it on something where you're maybe not matching it on both sides. So I have a bunch of these little pieces, and this check glass chain is very expensive. It was ridiculously priced, and these are just some ends, but we don't dare throw them out because they're just gorgeous. And if you don't like the chain, you can cut them up and use the beads, because the beads are just beautiful. So that is a bunch of the check glass chain. Isn't that pretty? I really wish that I could carry that in the store more, because it's so beautiful, except it's extremely expensive. So that is the gift bag that I have. And like I said, I may pop some other things in, but here's the bag that comes. It's beautiful. This is making a really nice little makeup bag. And it's got Leather Cord USA stamped on the side there. So that was a nice little gift that they gave me. So you will get this if you make a purchase. That's all you have to do is just buy something on the website, and you can be entered in. And like I said, I will have this 20% off coupon for until Friday of next week, and then we will do the draw on Saturday. So let me just flip you up here. I'm going to try to do this without losing everybody. Let's see. Okay, I've got to resituate everything before I do this. And then we can have a little chat, and then we can all get back to our lives, because everybody has been so lovely and hanging around all day. Okay, so just a little jiggle here. If I can get you guys out of here. Oh, goodness. Oh, there we go. Sorry. All right, there we go. Whew, I did it without turning it off. It's a miracle. You have no idea how much I was sweating over this. So stressful. Okay, yeah, it's a fun gift, right? I would love to get a gift like that. It's great. So how are we doing for time? I still have a few minutes. Anybody want to ask me anything? Anything that, because I can actually read the comments. I do have to do this because with my glasses, the way they are, I can't see very well on here. But if you have any questions, you can fire them out right now. Oh, hey, Mary, how you doing? Well, I'm not as nervous as I was when I first started. I had a case of the nerves today, which is so weird for me, because normally I can just kind of blast these things out, no problem. But some days. A gift and a coupon, such a deal. Thank you. I do try to make everybody happy. So you guys do a lot for us in that you keep me in business. So I want to try to do things for you that make you happy too. So, hey, Ida. Never let them see me sweat. Well, you didn't get to see me on camera most of the time. And then if I have a little sip off my rum and Coke, that helps just a little bit. Thank you, Brenda. Preferred tool set, Terry. Okay, so I just got some new tools. Well, they're on order. We just got these new tool kits in that are on the website, and they're actually a tool kit. They're not the high-end tools. They're just a basic little tool that I think they have like 8 things. They come with tweezers and wire straighteners and the whole bit. And I can't remember the price. Maybe they're $79 or something, but you get like 8 tools in a little kit. So those are a fabulous deal, and they're meant for a smaller hand, or they're really great for travel tools. Travel. I remember what that was like one time. Yeah. I miss it so much. Anyway, but one of my sales reps sent me a sample of a new tool that I absolutely love. Now, of course, they're sold out because everybody loved them and they're sold out. But I will be bringing those in. So watch over the next month. I will have these new tools in that I think are just fabulous. They're heavy and weighted and just feel really good in my hand, and they've got a good grip on them, and they come to a really nice point, which everybody's always asking me for. So the barrel knot tool, so if you place an order for one of these kits, well, any of our kits that need a barrel knot tool in it will always come with one. But if you do want to buy a barrel knot tool, you just go to my website at kelliesbeadboutique.com. Make sure you spell Kelly with an I-E. And just go to the search bar and type in barrel knot tube, and you will find it on there. Thank you, Ruth Ann. No, the barrel knot tool is not considered a tool, or tube is not considered a tool. Yes, it's not. Oh yes, thank you, Kate. Yes, please make sure, if you do not know what Kate just posted there, there is a picture of Candy holding up 3 bags. Are they called serape bags or something like that? And we all sent in things for her to load up in these bags, and they are just stacked with some fabulous goodies. So you have to go to that post, which is in, I think, is it in the announcements? I'm not exactly sure, but it might be in the announcements, or maybe it's pinned. Anyway, you'll have to kind of dig around and find it, or maybe Kate can say where it is here. And you want to go there and make sure that you enter for that. There's 3 of them, and those are some hefty bags. So those ones would be a really nice gift to get. So make sure you enter that, because you want to win one of those for sure. What color were the pearls? They're kind of a bit of a raspberry with a bit of a orange cast to them. So they were really unique, very, very different. Thank you, Kate. Yes, in the announcements. Kate is the master of all the stuff. You know, I would just want to thank everybody on the team. You know, Kate and Andrew and Sarah and Kristen and, is it Kristen or Kristen? I'm sorry if I'm killing your name. Too many people to remember. Anyway, there's some really, really fabulous people, and they have bailed me out for all the way along, because a lot of this stuff is over my head. So thank you to all of the people that have put this together, because it's so much fun. So yeah, so that's about it. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Abby Berta is going to be kicking off things in the morning. She is on at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And she is going to be showing her, she's got a really fabulous, I think it's called Anjou or something like that. It's her new, or not new, it is her pewter line that she developed, and she's going to be showing how to do all sorts of things. So she's going to have an action-packed show with all kinds of different things in it. So make sure that you come back with your cup of coffee and get in the mood for a whole other day of making jewelry. I think you guys are going to have a really great day tomorrow. So everybody stay safe. You know, I don't like to talk about that stupid thing right now too much, but just everybody stay safe, wear your mask if you have to, and have a really great evening. Enjoy it, and thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and we will see all of you really, really soon. Take care, everybody.